All right, so this is probably, I mean, maybe everybody says this, but I was like an interesting playoff. But I will say that I was like, I'm a lot more interested than some other years just because I think this is the first time that I don't know who's really going to win in either conference. And I know everybody can say like the East was down this year, especially in comparison to the West. And while that's true, they have a lot of matchups too that I was like, I don't know who I can say really is going to come out. Now, I was like, let's already get whatever it is of I'm recording this before the play-ins just because I'm like they're playing. It doesn't matter. They're going to face the top team. So I was like, whoever the Celtics get, injured Miami Heat with no Butler or the Bulls, I think the Celtics should be able to beat them. At least with the Heat, it's been a storyline. It's been intriguing. Kind of like they're a tough opponent, always a tough out, and they had their number several years. But I think this year it would have just ran its course. I think it would have been a little bit too much. You know, they would have got a game or so. But I think, I was like, I think the Bulls can get a game off of them. Whereas like Miami without no Butler, I think that's an easy sweep. So I was like, that's not going to be anything. I was like, go to Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Pelicans. If Zion's not playing, I was like, I think it'd be gritty because they do got big, so that's like really like a weakness of like Oklahoma City. But I think that those young cats will just be ready to go. Go on to the other side with Sacramento. I think that would be a difficult matchup in a different way, just because they can play fast with them. They have guards and wings to combat them in a way where it's like they got Sabonis and they like got Lynn and like Trey Lyles, but I was like, but they match up a lot. They match up better of like a similar team, fast pace and all that other stuff, an attacking guard. That I was like, that one will be intriguing. I think that one will actually. I think that one could go 6 games, but I think I'm going to go with the Thunder to pull that one out. Now to the more intriguing, harder matchups. Okay, so the Magic versus the Cleveland. Because it's easy to say on paper, Cleveland, you know, Garland, Mitchell, you know, Allen, all their boys versus the Magic. But I think the Magic is very similar to the Cleveland in some ways. I was like, but this is where the guard play I think is going to be really impactful for Cleveland, just because I was like, I think with Pablo, I mean not Pablo, but Paulo, I was like, I think he gonna get his, but I was like, there's enough bigs here to where it's like, okay, yeah, it'll be a slow down. Where I'm like, okay, cool, and it's like I'm not saying that the guard with like Suggs and all them, it's not gonna be able to play with Cleveland. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I think that it will be Mitchell and Garland who's going to have to win this for Cleveland, and I think that's going to give them the edge to me. But this one, I was like, I feel like it could go either way. I was like, kind of everybody thinking that Magic will be an easy out as well too. I was like, I guess that's why Cleveland's over here. Like, we're just going to just not play any games and hide and whatnot. Um, I was like, so another one, Pacers and Bucks. Now the Pacers had the Bucks as like all year, from the show out and the play tournament. That what is that called? If that's a play-in tournament, it can't be because we got the play-in games. Anyway, in the mid-season tournament, that's probably what it is. Got them, and then they pretty much had them all year. But I was like, but if Giannis is not going to be able to play, I don't. I was like, oh, then I was like, and I know that Halliburton hasn't been the same really since he tried to come back off the injury, but I just think that the way the Bucks have been just slow dragging and footing and all that other stuff into the playoffs, I think that's really right for the Pacers team. They got a whole bunch of young dudes on that squad and Siakam and stuff in order, you know, to get one up on the Bucks. So if Giannis can't play, then it's the Pacers. But if Giannis is able to play, I think they'll beat the Bucks beat the Pacers in the playoffs. Whew. All right. So now we also got the Clippers versus Dallas. I think I was like, this is all also contingent on Kawhi Leonard and how he's able to play. If he can't go, I'm picking Dallas really to do this in 5. Because I'm like, Luka already played great against the Clippers, but now he actually got a squad with him as well. And Kawhi's always ready. Always when he's able to play, he's a game changer, and whatever he does, he affects the game. You just feel it. Those other dudes, I just don't know because it's like a collection of names that seem like they should. It'd be great with Westbrook and Harden and Jor and Pat. Like, yeah, but I just don't. I don't want to. I was like, yeah, but this. No, I'm going with Dallas. I just can't. I just can't. I was going to try and Humpty Dumpty make something up, but I was like, I couldn't even try with that one. Phoenix and Minnesota. I think this is another game that I was like, I'm gonna go with the Timberwolves, but I don't think it's gonna be an easy get. Like this one to me seems like it could be 6, just because while Timberwolves should dominate with Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns coming back, I was like, but I was like, you just gotta. I was like, you just gotta hope that your defense, which I mean, is able to stagnate the offense of Phoenix, but realizing that hey, those dudes gonna at least end up getting like 2 games just by their offense alone. And while Nurkic is not a defensive guy at all, I was like he is a passer and a rebounder. So I'm like, if I was like, all it takes is just a couple good plays here. Grayson Allen been playing out his mind this year. That I'm just like, all it takes is just a couple things here. I was like, him and Gobert going to. I was like, he can stay on the floor where Gobert can't. So that means at some point it's going to be Karl Anthony Towns versus Euphis Nurkic. So at some point, that's why I'm saying that I'm like, all it takes is him getting a couple rebounds over Cat, and also Cat. We have to see how fully he's able to go. Don't get me wrong, Anthony Edwards about to be a dog out here, but even if you wanted to count it and be like Edwards, Gobert, Beal, Booker, Durant. And don't get me wrong. Also, the key here is that Booker is really good for some stinkers. I was like, which is crazy to think, but he's good for some stinkers. And we see that when they lose, or they start to lose, or the series or whatever, he gonna give you one of them offers. So that's why I'm over here thinking about the Timberwolves. I'm like they gonna get you a game or two just by scoring, but I was like they good for some offers. Well, Booker, and I was like Bill played it, but I was like Kevin Durant pretty much is like consistent. Um, 76ers and the Knicks, all contingent on Joel Embiid's health. I was like if he plays like how he did with the Heat, I was like down. I was like I'll take the Knicks if he's able to play like how he was when he was coming back. I think I would take the Sixers just because I don't think they have enough to stop Embiid in any one way. And yes, you can't really stop a great player, but I'm like, but Maxey can play good to great enough to match whatever Brunson is doing. There's nobody really to stop Embiid except for Embiid if he can't really go. So that's why I was like, but I'm also saying I am not expecting Batum to do that shit again. And if he doesn't, then you really count on Tobias and Buddy Hield. And I think Buddy Hield, I was like, there shouldn't be the same pressure on Buddy Hield there with Tobias Harris. If we were talking about Tobias Harris, you never know what you're gonna get. Sometimes you're gonna get 13 to 18, and in one game he might give you 35. But this game he gave you 35 is the game that nobody else helps out. It's always one of them weird situations with him, and that's why I'm just like, I think the Knicks, because I was like, I just have more belief in they're consistent. I believe in their consistency. Like yes, and sometimes I was like, while that is great, especially sometimes in the playoffs, it's like you know what you're gonna get. But when there's a superstar in there, and I was like, yes, I think Brunson. I was like, I think Brunson has risen to that. But I'm saying Maxey can match up and go toe for toe with you. But I was like, Joel Embiid is a different type of superstar. So that's why I'm like, if he can't go, then this should be the Brunson show. And I was like, I think Anobi's coming back. And, I mean, Anobi's back, and you got Dante and Hart. And I was like, so I was like, I think their cast of crew is better than the Sixers cast of crew. It just all depends on how high level that Joel Embiid can be. I was like, so I'm over here trying to make sure that I'm like, okay, did I get everybody that I needed to get? Yeah, I think I'm done with the East, and in the West, I got the West, except for whatever I've been waiting for, the Lakers and the Nuggets. Now, the Nuggets has waxed that ass for over basically a year and a half now. Now, will it be a sweep? No, I don't think it's gonna be a sweep. I don't think it's gonna be a sweep this year. But if you're asking me, can the Lakers beat the Nuggets? Yes, they can beat the Nuggets. Will they beat the Nuggets? Um, no. And for the same reason that I was talking about the Knicks with their group of guys that is consistent. And I was like, and by that I mean Dante not gonna give you 32, but you can count on him to give you 15 to 20 sometimes. You know, rise to the occasion. If you, I'm just saying, like, if you ask him to rise to the occasion, probably gonna rise to the occasion. Josh Hart played out of mind. I was like, so I'm like, that's what I mean by that. I'm like, if they don't, like, if like Dante went like 0 for like 15, you're like, oh, he had a bad game. Now go over to the Lakers. Consistency is not really their thing outside of really AD and LeBron. D'Lo is moody with his shot. Sometimes he over here and it's like bam, he hit your ass with a 5-8-3. That's crazy. Then sometimes you gotta put him on the bench. Reeves, I was like, yeah. Sometimes Reeves over here and be like, man, that boy went for 25. Then some nights it's just 12, and you just like, oh, okay. All right, he ain't had a dog in him today. Ruri, same damn thing. That boy gonna get you 10 when you need him to give you 20. Then I was like, Spencer Dinwiddie, yo, he shoot your ass in the game. He shoot your ass out the game. Who we got? Gabe Vincent. I was like, he's there. Sometimes. That's the problem. Is that I was like the level of consistency and playing hard that I feel like I could get out of the Knicks, even though I just exaggerated those numbers, but you get what I'm saying. Like you don't have that same like I will they won't they. You know you're gonna get the same thing from them to where it's just like I said, if it's like something like an over, you're like that's just a bad night. Whereas with the Lakers, you're like same damn Lakers. And that's the problem of why they won't beat the Nuggets. Because the Nuggets, all them dudes on that squad is pretty much consistent and they play hard. I mean, Michael Porter Jr., I would like he could be shaky or whatever, but guess what? I was like, Jamal Murray pretty much going to hit around his same thing. Aaron Gordon, I was like, he can fluctuate from really high, really low, depending on what they need. But if he's low, that doesn't mean that he's not doing all the other stuff too. So that's the thing is that you could get something out of him, but it's like for instance like Vanderbilt. You ain't gonna get 6 points out that dude in comparison to Gordon. That's like he can give you 10, and then he might give you some more, or he might give you this and he might give you that. Where it's like that, and that's the issue. I was like Chris Braun who comes in. I was like be over here giving him good minutes and stuff like that. That's the problem where I'm like that's why they won't beat the Nuggets. Because you can't. Because I was like, if you knew you could get 15 to 20 from Russell, you knew you could get 20 from Reeves. You knew that Spencer Dinwiddie could give you 13. You knew Rui was going to be able to give you 15 and stuff like that. Then you will be able to beat the Nuggets. But that's not how they do. So that's why I'm like, I think it'll be I want to be nice and say 6, but I think it might be 5. I'm gonna say 6, just be nice, cause I was like, it ain't gonna be 7. I was like, it ain't gonna be a winning series. So I'm gonna give them 6. But anyway, that's how I feel about the matchup. That's how I was like, that's how excited I am because I'm over here, and I was like, I wasn't even gonna go in there. I was just gonna talk about my assignment and just do picks. But I gave a little something here. Anyway, what do you think about each and every of these teams? Who's gonna win what? Who's gonna be what? And all this other stuff. What did I miss? And over here, I was like, give me some extra things of analysis or why that team should beat that other team. That, or maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I could be wrong about all of it. That's fine. Whatever. Let me know. Or do you believe in the Lakers? That's all we got to say. Anyway, let's see how these playoffs go. Best time.